still to come tonight, Gabriel Morency in our next segment. But right now we're talking some college basketball and March Madness with our next guest, a former Syracuse Orange player and a referee and coach down in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. As if I had to say the state as well. I'm not sure why. You can actually follow him on twitter.com/CoachJEBANKS. Coach J.E. Banks. It is John Banks. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Good, thanks. What are you up to?
Yeah, I'm about to over. How about yourself?
All right. Well, I'm hoping your connection will hold up. A little scratchy, but we'll try and get through it here. So I have your bracket in front of me. It's a great time of the year. I'm noticing by your bracket, it's not too Syracuse Orange, heavy, but let's just cut right to the chase. You got Michigan State beating Arizona in the final. You got Florida, Arizona, Michigan State, and Wichita State in your final four. And that means that you don't like Virginia to get past MSU and Tom Izzo. Why is that?
Well, I think Virginia may be a tad bit overrated. They play solid defense, but you got to be able to have some experience. You got to be able to score the basketball. And with Virginia, they're kind of inconsistent. Now, if their defense is not generating their offense, then they struggle to score. And, they've had a great season. However, it's going to come to a screeching halt after the Elite Eight.
Coach, do you believe that the committee decided to put a lot of great teams in Wichita State's bracket, given the fact that Wichita State came out of nowhere the last 18 months, went undefeated during the regular season, and to really prove a point that Wichita State isn't the best team in that bracket?
It's unfortunate because I think Wichita State has had a great run, including last year. And yes, you're right. They definitely loaded them up in the bracket because if you look at it from a regional marketing point of view, the Wichita State Shockers are not what you intended to garner a nationwide audience. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people because they go 10 deep and they come to play. They're a season-laden team. And this is what the tournament's all about, giving one of 68 teams an opportunity to excel. But when they overload one bracket, that almost doesn't seem fair.
And I would agree with you, John, because I'm looking at the defending champion, talking about the Louisville Cardinals, who may end up facing Wichita State, a number 4 seed. Also a very good number 4 seed in UCLA after taking the Pac-12 title. What do you think about these, I would say, underrated teams? Because you even threw Michigan State out there as a championship contender as well, sitting at the 4 seed in the East. It seems like a lot of underrated teams this year that may fly under the radar just because of numbers or namesake alone.
Oh, I agree. And, a lot of these people that put on the committee, they literally end the stock after the regular season is over. They don't take into account what they did in the postseason tournament. And they want to sit there and talk the body of work. Well, let's talk about the body of work from Game 1 to Game 34. And what Michigan State did in the Big Ten tournament, nobody expected that. And I think that 4 seed is a little bit weak. I think the seed that UCLA got is a little bit weak too. So it often makes you scratch your head, and then surprises happen. People go, I wonder why that happened.
Now, Coach, the lowest seed that you have advancing out of the first round is Arizona State at number 10. You have them beating the Wolverines. Why is that?
I saw them play early in the year against Arizona, and I love what they brought to the table. The Pac-10 arguably is the best conference this year. I suppose the folks from the Big 12 and some of the other conferences will say different, but I think what Arizona State brings to the table is the perfect recipe for March Madness. Great defense, low post presence, great guard play, and that's the reason why I picked them there.
Coach, obviously, the super freshman class of Wiggins and, of course, Jabari Parker. A two-part question for you here. How far will KU go, even though Joel Embiid will miss the first weekend of action? And also, Duke, can they go as far as they can with Jabari Parker being that X factor for them throughout this tournament?
I think with the loss of Embiid in Kansas, that hurts a lot, which was shown definitely in the Big 12 tournament. Because Wiggins can't do them all by himself. He's kind of inconsistent. When he's on, he'll drain 41. but when he's off, he'll get 10 and 12. And Jabari Parker is a phenom. And you saw the last 10 games of the season what kind of player he is. That's basically an NBA player on a college roster. So I think he can carry them a long way. I think Duke's a lot deeper than Kansas is. So it shouldn't be a surprise if Kansas bows out early.
You were talking about some of the other upsets, other potential upsets as well. I'm looking down in the East region. I really like what I saw out of Phil Martelli's group and St. Joseph's, and I think they could potentially even knock off Villanova. But where else on the board are you looking? Maybe even Oklahoma State with Marcus Smart back in the lineup, 5 steals per game since he's made his way back in after the suspension. Anything really catching your eye as far as top seeds toppling go in these first couple of rounds?
It's being in Oklahoma, because we got 3 teams that made it. University of Tulsa with Danny Manning, Oklahoma State with, as you just mentioned, and then Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma State's going to implode because they do not have a coach on the sidelines that can gear up to play game after a tournament setting. That's kind of unfortunate because Marcus Smart is a great talent. He's just a loose cannon. With those things being said, I think a lot of your lower-seeded teams, they were put in those positions to begin with because they think they're going to win. And I really don't see any real big upsets to start with. But once again, just like everybody else, I could be wrong.
Yeah, you've never been wrong before.
Never.
I do have a question about UMass. I like Boston sports teams. So you have UMass coming out of the first round and not going further than playing against Duke in that second round. What do you like and not like about them?
Size is a factor for UMass. They're all the 6'2", the 6'8" guys, very athletic. They're seasoned, but I don't think they have any the game-breaking talent when they run up against Duke like Jabari Parker. And that's all hurts these smaller A-10 schools. St. Joseph's has the same problem. But, in a one-game setting, if Duke decides to let UMass hang around, hey, UMass may have an opportunity to steal one.
Coach, every year we always see a 5 versus 12 matchup where if 12 beats a 5. Is there one matchup do you believe that can happen this year?
No, not really. After watching tonight's game with NC State, they have an opportunity to play with St. Louis, but I think St. Louis is riding high on the passing of Rich Majerus, and they're using that as motivation. But that would be the only one that I would have taken a look at early in the bracket, see if that would change.
Chatting with Coach Banks out of Oklahoma City, and talking some college basketball here, as we normally do annually here. With him on the program. All right, let's talk about your Syracuse, number 3 seed in the South. You have them getting out of the first round. You have them also taking out Ohio State in the second round, and then losing to Kansas after that.
Yep. After infamous 12 start, started to unravel a little bit. They're banged up a little bit with Jeremy Grant. Tyler Ennis is a phenomenal point guard, the kid from Montreal, right? And he's able to hit clutch shots, but you can only go so far as your talent's going to take you. Trevor Cooney has not been consistent the last quarter of the season, and you need that outside presence. I mean, talent-wise, Syracuse is there. Coaching-wise, Syracuse is there, but I just think their offense is just too inconsistent to make a deep run in the tournament.
All right, so in the end, you have Michigan over Arizona in the big game. Do you anticipate a close one if that matchup does happen?
What I'm looking for, because I always tell you this, backcourt play is the key to making a long run. You got Johnson against Appling, and that's what basketball purists are definitely looking for. And plus, you got the rising coach. And it pains me to say this, Sean Miller from when he played at University of Pittsburgh against Tom Izzo, and my thoughts about Tom Izzo. I think this is his opportunity to get another national championship in East Lansing, because I don't think Arizona has anything to deal with Adrian Payne, because I just think he's on a mission.
Coach J.E. Banks on Twitter.com if you have any questions about your bracket. I'm sure he'll respond at some point. And we'll have to have you back on the program as well throughout the tournament. So thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, no problem. Have a good one, guys.
All right, there you go. Coach Banks out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Maybe next time we'll throw in a Thunder question as well, obviously following the NBA down there as well. It is Game Points here on TSN 690. Your update is next with Eric Thomas on the other side. Mo and I will chat with Gabrielle Morency. Stay tuned.